How you guys doing? Water. I know everybody thinks surviving means you have a bunch of guns, but it's more to that. A lot of people have guns, they don't know how to fix them. You don't know how to clean them. You don't know how to do it with a double feed, a jam, a stovepipe, any of those things. But it takes more than guns to survive. Nuclear apocalypse, a post-apocalyptic world, zombie apocalypse, viruses, diseases, any of those things. As I'm sitting out here right now washing clothes, we're going to go over some of the essentials I think you need and I need to survive. Now, mind you, this is coming from a person that's giving you a general sense, not in law enforcement, not in military. I have done some training with members of the military, and I shoot, and I probably shoot a little bit more than most. I'm actually moving towards grabbing some more 22 long rifle to really maximize, maybe twice a week or definitely once a week. But I'm going to start off with telling you essential things I think you need to survive. And then we're going to cover water today. First of all, water is going to be essential to you living. First aid, medical. Before medics, before you had people trained, EMTs, so forth. A lot of people died on battlefields, died in situations because of infection and wounds not being treated properly. So understanding medicine and medical, I'm not actually be a doctor, but understanding how to bandage, understanding how to treat wounds is critical. Taking care of your feet. A lot of people have went out, soldiers. People go out and everybody's body is different, but some people go out, they get water on their feet. Feet will set up infection and fungus. They don't treat it, take care of it. May have to get your feet amputated or it could kill you. Gangrene is real. Swamp ass, these things not properly cleaning yourself. So a lot of people don't die from actual firefights or shootouts. People die because they got cut with a rusty knife and they didn't think about it and they let infection set up and it spreads beyond a point where you can no longer survive. So those are critical things. Being able to eat. If we go into a real world situation, any various of TV shows, any variant of a movie, you understand that. Definitely Walking Dead. If you move into a situation where there is no world operating and moving and you cannot eat or feed yourself or your children, you will die. So understanding food, understanding what foods to buy, having the ability to keep yourself entertained. During the pandemic, we saw being in the house, and people have nice houses, how boring it can get, how it can feel like a prison. So being able to entertain yourself is going to be key. So in doing this video, there's so many different things we can talk about. And we're going to talk about surviving 101. I think, first of all, not telling you what to do, but everybody should at least go camping one time in the woods. I don't care if you're Mexican, if you're Asian, Caucasian, black or white, whatever. I think you should go camping to experience that, because that very well could be the difference in life or death in a situation. Understanding how to hunt, how to fish, and fish to live. It's a different than going out and being able to understand that when you go out and hunt all the time, you may not catch nothing. Being able to understand that when you fish a lot, you may not catch nothing. But you have to ramp that up, because fishing, hunting, and gardening and have the ability to have food is the difference. So I'm working on surviving, being a survivalist, and we're going to survive. So I want y'all to think about that. There's so many different scenarios that could happen, possibly could happen, and we could be in a situation where you could be more than a year or two away from restoring everything or going back. We coming on the other side of the pandemic, but we're still not back to where we want to be. So understand that. Fishing, knowing how to clean fish properly, cook it, whether you use a fish fryer whether you use a pan and a fire, grilling it, these are things. When you're talking about surviving, having the ability to use propane, natural gas, starting a fire, having the ability to use a deep fryer, it's going to be essential to you living. A lot of people are going to die because of lack. And I just don't mean lack of resources, lack of money. A lot of people are going to literally die because we're going to go out here and we're going to think, oh, I'm just going to walk to Walmart and I'm not going to run into people. Everybody's going to be my friend. Everybody's not your friend. Pay attention. If you watch the movie Bird Box, everybody isn't for you. So learning these things, learning how to hunt, clean deer. I know some people don't like pigs, but hey, pig is an abundant. We're overrun with pigs in the United States. You literally cannot kill them fast enough. Pigs literally drop baby pigs 2 to 3 times a year, maybe 4, and they can have up to 12 or 15, I think. So literally, pigs eat, sleep, fuck, tear shit up. Cannot run out of them. You need to understand how to clean them, cook them, take care of them, and that'll help you. I know you may not like that. Chickens, always rabbit, any type of animal that you can survive off of, you need to know how to do. A lot of people, we have become so modern. A lot of people don't hunt, but we become so modern. Some things we should do. You should have a knife that's not a tactical knife, not a pocket knife. You should have a knife and a sharpener that you use to help you skin and clean food. You should have the tools, utensils. These are things that's going to help you survive. We're going to cover a lot of stuff, but I want y'all to understand that a lot of us are going to die because we're going to run out of water. We're going to run out of food. We're going to run outside and think we finna shoot somebody, and we don't even know how to take the safety off. We don't even know how to cock the gun, load the gun. We don't know how to shoot the gun. We don't know how to work on the gun very quickly to get it back in service. So, in that sense, think about it. Number one is water. I normally buy 2 to 3 cases of water a week. And I drink a lot of water. Water's good for I drink a lot of water. And I've actually got my weight back. I went to about 280, stopped working out due to the strike and just relaxing a little bit, not keeping my foot on the gas as far as my health, and because I'm trying to get myself back in shape. So I actually picked back up 20 pounds, and right now I was like 310, 307. So now I'm back to 299, 298. So now I'm starting to move back to where I want to go. But I drink water every day, a lot of water. I drink ice water. I literally drink a jug about that big every day. And so that allows me to be able to drink those things. But back to what I was saying, water, that's the first thing you need to understand. A lot of people tend to, especially if you live by yourself or you have one child or, just you and your significant other, a lot of people tend to grocery shop every week or every 3 days. I'm not saying that's right or wrong because I don't know your situation, your finances. I'm not trying to tell you to do with your money. But in terms of thinking about what I need to do to be prepared if something happens, you're not going to be able to run to the grocery store every day in a situation. I mean, we're talking about, we went through the pandemic. On the tail end, some places were talking about invoking martial law. The World Health Organization was talking about we're going to start going into houses and taking people. Like, I know it got serious because a lot of jobs shut down and places didn't come back, but I don't think people really understand. Some people have not went back to work. Like, they're looking for jobs. They can't find a job in their field, their career. Gold's Gym disappeared. Certain places have some restaurants, some chains, some brands. Movie theaters were hurting for a while. So you have to understand that at some places, it got bad. Like, they were talking about getting National Guard or FEMA. A lot of jobs left. People are still struggling. But for the most part, most people went back to work. Most people worked through the pandemic. I think in a couple of years, there'll probably be a massive lawsuit. You'll watch TV and say, if you work through the 2020 pandemic, you can be entitled to such and such fund, what kind of job, whatever. But water is the first thing you need to think about. Again, I buy water every week. Try to buy at least 2 to 3 cases a week so I'm not in a bad spot if we get into something. Now, depending on how much, a lot of people don't even drink water. So they're going to be whatever they're going to be. But if you drink water and you drink a lot of water like myself, you need to be able to keep a stock. If you live in an apartment building where it's strict rules, they don't let you take pictures, you really can't do things, you have to adjust to that. But if you rent, you own, you live in a loft, townhouse, house, and you kind of can do, pictures, you can, stock some things up, you should have an advantage. You should have plenty of canned foods. You should have plenty of noodles. A lot of people don't like ramen noodles. Eat them, but you're not supposed to live off of them. They are high in sodium. They're hard to digest, but that is the perfect end of the world food, perfect pandemic or apocalypse food, because you can easy to cook. All you need is some hot water, a little seasoning on them, and it will fill you up. And maybe in a pandemic, trying to survive, you may not need to be full up all the time. But I want y'all to understand that water is the first thing. Stockpile it now. I don't know your finance. I don't know your budget. I would advise at least 2 to 3 cases a paycheck. If you drink a lot of water, you probably would need to double that. 2 cases to drink, 2 more cases to build. You do not want to be, we're going to a shutdown for 3 months and you can't move till we tell you to go to the grocery store. You're going to struggle. Water, 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 water. Having the ability to have food in a deep freezer. Having the ability to keep the food frozen with generators or alternate power sources if something happens. Power is critical, but having multiple deep freezers, having pizzas hot. I know this stuff ain't good for you. Hot Pockets, things like that. But trust me, if you got kids, if you're hungry in a pandemic, health is the last thing you worry about. We're in survival mode. Having those things is going to be essential to live. Again, being able to utilize, if you want to hunt, fish, clean the meat, eat the meat. Being able to grill, having a lot. You can always stockpile charcoal. Every time they have a holiday, they run a sale. I advise you to buy a couple of small bags, couple of big bags, because that's something you can do. Hibachi grill, whatever propane, whatever you want to use. Gas stove, electric stove. Being able to cook in a hard situation is going to be critical. In Alabama, we normally have 8 months of nice weather and 4 months of cool weather. Really 3 months of cool weather. Being able to survive in the cold and extreme heat is going to be critical. Being able to get in shade, sit in the house, go in the basement, have a fan, fine. You may struggle with heat exhaustion, but your family will be in a lot worse shape if you can't handle the heat. The cool. When it's 20, 19, below 0, 10 degrees, or minus 20, you're going to have to handle that. Understanding first aid, understanding how to treat wounds, how to treat knife cuts, bandage yourself, clean socks when you get your feet wet. Now, my feet, I can get wet. When I take a shower and clean them, I'm fine. Some people are different. Everybody's body is different. I can walk by a gate and get cut. I don't have to get a tetanus shot. As long as I eventually clean the wound, sanitize it, alcohol, peroxide, whatever, I'm fine. Some people, as soon as they get a cut, they, not just because their blood don't clot, but some people will get infection, they will get sores. So understanding that, it's going to be critical. Make sure you clean and wipe your ass. Make sure you bath, brush your teeth, shower. These are simple things, but some people won't do it. You won't clean yourself, you get swamp ass. You won't never clean your feet. Your feet will hurt and it could set up infection. Not treating, not having alcohol, not being able to clean or hand sanitizer. You don't want fungus. You don't want diseases. But we're going to survive, and all of us are going to work together, and we're going to teach each other how to be able to survive, how to hunt. You can watch any channel on YouTube and they will teach you how to hunt. So I don't have to do that part. I'm gonna show you my hunts later on, but you don't have to sit here and listen to me. You can watch any channel, and they're bow hunting. You don't have to have Subson. You don't have to have 20 guns. You don't have to have a setup for every day of the week. You don't have to have 6mm ARC, 458 SOCOM, 350 Legend. You don't have to have 6.8 Creedmoor, 50 BMG. Shotgun, 270, you can do what you need to do. So you can learn how to hunt. I don't need to cover that. There's a lot of channels doing that. I don't need to ever teach you the basics because every hunt is different. Sometimes the one thing I think people don't understand, especially with folks that do video, is a lot of times people go out, you are not successful. Some people will sit out 10 hours waiting on a deer. They'll see a couple of does. They'll see a couple of deer they don't want, waiting on that 6 to 8, 10, 12 point. Sometimes you won't see anything. You only see coyotes. So I want y'all to understand that every time you drop a rod, every time you take the reel and drop a rod in the water with that worm, that bait, whatever, some people, you're not going to be successful. So you can watch any channel teach you that. But learning that stuff is going to be critical. Being able to clean your guns, being able to handle a double feed, being able to handle a stovepipe, being able to handle a simple malfunction, being able to clear the gun, those are critical in any type of duress situation. And one thing I want to stress is communication. Being able to communicate with people is going to be key. Because if you got a few like-minded people, you can move. Understanding if we get into real bad times and you eventually run out of supplies at your house, being able to move into a location, whether it be somebody else's home, whether it be a high school, hospital, place where you got power, you got access. Remember on Dawn of the Dead, the original and Zack Snyder's version, they went to the mall. They were able to cook, able to eat, able to survive, keep the place fortified. Those are going to be critical things to understand. Again, like I say, you got to have certain things. You need more water than food to survive, because you can survive a lot longer without food with water. You can survive without water, but you need it, and then eventually you'll die. Gas mask, hazmat suit, those are critical things. Bad air, biological weapon. We lose power. Some people stay in a place where there may be a place that has bad fumes, gases, poison, those type of things, chemicals, and they can't keep it contained with loss of power. And now this stuff gets into the atmosphere, you're at risk. So having proper gas masks, I know, you can't find my kids' gas masks. No. Since what happened at Waco, what happened at Ranch Apocalypse, what happened at Mount Carmel, companies now make children gas masks. So being able to have gas masks, being able to clean stuff, having the ability to have ammo. If we got into a real bad situation, I watched this movie. It's called The End. Got Forrest Whitaker, and the guy played in the Divergent series, played in some of the later movies of the Underworld. Well, he goes to see the family. The girlfriend doesn't go. He's Caucasian, she's African American. So they have to go back and get him. First thing the dad does, Forrest Whitaker, get home bag. Get home bag. We're going to cover that. You can look on any channel on YouTube, search Get Home Bag or Bug if you want a bug out bag. I'm going to give you my setup, and I'm actually finishing that up, so you'll see that soon. But he grabs the bag, and they go. One thing I really paid attention to this movie was that they stopped at a gas station. Gas station had generators. There's no debit card. There's none of that. I'm going to swipe my card. So being able to have some money on you or in a safe or being able to access paper money is going to be essential. Everybody wants to go to digital currency. Everybody wants to go to cards for safety. I don't believe in that, but I understand. But if you lose power, if we get storms bad enough and the Wi-Fi and the internet's knocked out and you can't access your account, how are you going to get these essential things? And in that movie, part of the movie, they had to do it. Now, some people will have an advantage. You go into a store, they got generators, they're selling, they got security. You may be able to walk in there and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you a 9mm 2 clips and a box of bullets. They may say, well, get $300 worth of groceries. I'm going to give you a couple of flat screens. I'm going to give you some bikes, a car I don't drive, but it works. Some people going to be able to barter and trade. Some people are not, because you don't have anything about it. You don't have anything they want. You may walk into a store and the guy's a LeBron fan. You say, look, I got LeBron autographed rookie card. You say, well, look, I'm going to give you $10,000 cash and about $500 worth of food because it's valuable to me. I got gold, I got silver, whatever. Those are things to think about. Having some currency set aside, gold, silver, having some extra guns you may not want that work, that you can trade. You may be able to trade a gun for shelter. Hey, I stay with you. I give you a couple of guns. I give you some magazines, give you some, ammo. That's just something to think about. If you get into that situation, if we was in a Red Dawn situation, a Steel Dawn, Mad Max Survive, you're going to be trading a lot of stuff. You're going to be trading gas, oil. You're going to be trading tires, whatever. So these are things you need to think about. I'm not asking you to change anything you do. I'm just asking you to think about some things that we can do to help each other survive. And that just boils down to us being able to communicate in any type of situation, whether it be walkie-talkie, CB, being able to communicate, because a lot of people don't think like you think. And that's actually a good thing, because we're supposed to be different. That's what's supposed to make this country great, the diversity. But having like-minded people that will think. Obviously, in any time in a situation, the pen's not going to be as mighty as the sword, and the strong will survive. And you just have to realize that. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's going to be ruthless. Everybody's not going to be your friend. Everybody come on your door ain't going to want no sugar. Some people going to want to just be in your house and you be dead. Some people going to say, well, he's got 2 guns. I got 1. I want his 2 guns. So trust your instincts. And you just have to figure that out for yourself. But we're going to cover some more details. Like I say, water is the first essential thing I would do for anybody. I get plenty of water, get me a gas mask, get the filters, and you don't have to go overboard. A little ammo, every paycheck, and you'll have some saved up, whatever you need. I watched a video and a man said he has 15,000 rounds of 5.56. He was living in Jacksonville. He does a lot of this stuff, and you can follow him. I think his name Chris Coastal. Anyway, he said that I'm thinking he had 15,000 rounds, and he said if something broke out, he'd run out of ammo a week. And what he's basically saying is that in pressure situations or normal shooting, if you live in a city with 100,000, 200,000 people, first of all, the numbers are tell you you're not. But even if you're John Wick and you're 1 shot, 1 kill, he's only killed 15,000 people. So now you got 30,000 people coming at you crazy. So when you shoot a 30-round clip, let's say you hit for every other bullet you hit. That means 15 bullets connect, 15 don't. Some people understand. Some people are so bad of a shot, 1 bullet out of a 15-round clip, they're going to hit. So now you got to have another bullet to be the put-down bullet, the fatal bullet, or the bullet that say, hey, I'm done, I don't want none. So now you're going to go 30 bullets for a shot. Because some people don't shoot. Just one thing. Some people shoot, but they're not confident shooters, or they just shoot to shoot. They're not shooting with purpose or trying to get better, focusing on iron targets or optics and being able to connect. This is what people talk about, a group. Some people are going to take a 15-round magazine and 5 evil zombies or 5 crazy animals standing there, and you're going to only hit 1 out of those 15, or you're going to hit 2. So you're going to spend a lot of rounds. So obviously you need to get better, but understanding how to survive, understanding when to fight, when not to fight. You watch The Walking Dead. When it started out, they was on Herschel Ranch shooting. As they moved on, they would use hammers and swords and knives, and only use bullets when they had to. And then they got to the point where they only used bullets against humans. Or it had to be a real bad situation for them to shoot, because ammo wasn't readily available as it first was. And obviously they only went from Atlanta to, up to Virginia. So it's still a whole lot of places they ain't search for ammo, a lot of homes they didn't go in. Then too, you have to understand something. Ammo is not something that can just stay on a shelf and work. You actually have to store ammo. It's just like a gun. You're not going to leave a gun out forever. It will get rust on it. It will get moisture. Things happen when temperature change. It will sweat. So you have to keep it stored up safe, and you have to actually protect your guns. Keep them clean. Keep things on there to keep it from getting bad. But bullets is another. Yeah, an ammo can works perfect. A plastic can with an airtight seal works perfect. These things, you have to have it. So we're going to talk more. We're going to break down into foods next. But again, this video is mainly about water and what to expect when you're trying to survive for a long period of time. We have an EMP blast, and it took 6 months or a year for all power to be restored somewhere. It's going to be a long day. So I want y'all to think about that. Like I said, we're going to get into survival foods. We're going to get into what should you store in your freezers. How should you cook, clean? Maybe do some of the things that the Amish or the old people did. I'm definitely looking into that, because a lot of people survive and still have amenities like we do, and they don't even have power refrigerators. And they're still able to cook every day. They're able to keep things for a while. So that may be something to look into and think about. But you guys be safe, be vigilant, train, exercise, try to get your weight down, get your wind up. Understand if you have a gun that you are the weapon. The gun is just a tool in your toolbox. And if you do not know how to work it, then it's not going to serve you any purpose. So y'all have a wonderful day, and I will get back with y'all later.